Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited. My friend Mitsy Diane is with me. Mitzi and I have had the chance of meeting in person several times. We first just communicated through social media. Next thing you know, we were seeing each other at all kinds of conferences and masterminds and meetups. And so we've had a chance to hang out, get to know each other a little bit better. And Mitzi's with me today, and we're going to talk shop. We're going to talk about real estate investing. We're going to learn about Mitzi's background. She's based out of the San Antonio market, and she's a real estate entrepreneur. She's a real estate mentor, coach. She's doing some really cool content on Instagram and some other places too. So, Mitzi, thank you so much for being with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Benson. Thank you for having me.
Yes, yes. So, tell me a little bit about your background. It looks like you were getting your start back in like 2016-ish time frame, and in a short period of time, you've had a lot of success. Tell me where you came from.
I actually was a pre-med major, but last semester ended up getting my finance degree and working in finance for 10 years. So I was a financial advisor, and then I worked myself up as a compliance officer for the complex. So I was over 250 financial advisors and 2,500 registered client associates. And I had to approve every single investment in every account across Wells Fargo, across 17 branches. And so I saw every single one of them. I had to know about every single one of them, risk adversity and all of that. So during that time, I really fell in love with real estate, and I was doing wholesaling and didn't realize it.
Mm.
I would find some land, I would clean it up, I would buy it, and then I would resell it. Like after the weekend of cleaning it up and doing just small things like that. And then I was like, why am I not doing this full time? After reading Think and Grow Rich for the second time. And so 2 days later, hired myself a mentor with what little bit of money I had in my account. Because I had actually quit my job as a financial advisor 2 years before that, just to become like an Ayurvedic wellness counselor and a yoga teacher and meditation teacher, breathwork teacher. So I went from like super stressful job to like this hippie Mitzi phase. And then while I was reading that book, I was like, okay, all right. And so I had some savings, put it into my mentor. I actually didn't learn more than what I already knew, but it put a fire under me to go ahead and like get it going. So within 23 days, I made my first deal happen, and that was a $50,000 assignment fee. And I was like, oh yeah, I can make this happen. And
Nice.
then I went from there, did over 6 figures in my first 6 months, and just kept on growing. Then a year and a half after that, did my $400,000 assignment with an apartment wholesale and wholesaled a few
Oh my
apartments, and
goodness. Four
just
hundred
kept
thousand
on.
dollar assignment fee. Don't just skip over that. That's really exciting. Like most people wouldn't do that in an entire career of assignments, and you did it with one deal.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Tell me about that deal.
Okay. So it actually came off LoopNet. So there was a girl that was wanting to work with me, and she found it on LoopNet and brought it to me and was like, what do you think about this apartment deal? And I was like, okay, let me call. And I called the broker and I said, I will offer y'all what y'all are wanting for it. Just take it off the market. I want you to take the listing down, and I'll send you the contract. So I sent the contract. He took the listing down. I really didn't know what I was doing. I knew enough to be dangerous. And so I posted it on Facebook for $1.2 million. I had a buyer within 3 days to put down the earnest money deposit. And during the 28-day closing, it took 28 days to close it. There was so many ways that it almost fell through, because it ended up that the people in the apartments, so it was an inheritance, and the people in the apartments were all family members who weren't paying anything. So they
Oh,
couldn't get
no.
financing on it because there was no income coming in. And so the sellers were just wanting the money up front because one of the children was handicapped and needed a nurse. And so I was like, okay, guys. And they called me. We actually had a 45-day closing, but they called me ahead of time. And I'd been trying to talk them into owner finance, telling them that there's a problem with financing whenever you guys don't have any income. So let's see if we can do owner finance. They're like, no, no, no. And finally they called me on, I think it was August 1st, and they're like, we need to make this happen. We can't pay the mortgage. We can't pay anything. Like, what do we need to do? And I said, owner finance, how much do y'all need? And they figured it out, came back to me. And I told them, let's do like 140 down then. And I went ahead and told my seller, my buyer, like 250 down. So I collected 100 up front. And then a month from that, they also put some more money down. So I got another 40K then. And then I wrapped the rest of it as a hard money loan and made 10% off of the 300,000. I actually made a little over 400,000 because of the way I set it up.
Right.
And so everybody was happy though. Everybody was happy with the way it happened. And then a year later they cashed me out and I was able to get it. I think it was 375,000 is what came out of that. So it was more than the 400, but it was really creative. I had to get super creative and had to be very persistent with them because a lot of people were telling me it's just going to fall through. Even the buyer was like, I don't see how this is going to happen. I was like, what can you do? Just tell me, I'm going to make this happen. And I did. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, normally I like to ask people what their favorite deal was, but I don't think I have to ask you that because this one sounds really exciting, especially early on in
Mhm.
your career, and you're like, you didn't know what you're doing, but you did some creative things that like a lot of people still don't know about. Like, you wrapped some stuff and you created like some debt and, seller financing. And those are all pretty advanced strategies that, even I haven't done things like that. Like I've done standard deals, wholesale. So kudos to you for putting that together and having the wherewithal to kind of just keep everybody in line and moving forward. Cause it would have been easy for anybody just to bow out, but
Mhm.
you closed it.
Oh
That's
yeah.
awesome. Congrats.
Thank you.
It, and now, well, then you were doing some wholesale, right?
Mhm.
And, I was kind of looking around and I saw that you're doing some land flipping now, and you're also doing mobile homes, which is very, very niche too. So tell me about that.
Yeah, so when the market started shifting, I was like, okay, affordable housing is going to be needed. And I was looking at what all could be affordable housing, and I was started looking into mobile homes. And so I've been doing mobile homes for the last year. It was last year, November, that I shifted into more mobile homes. And it's been pretty nice. Surprisingly, they make a lot of money. And especially with the investment that you put in. Like I did one flip and I made $101,000 on it, and it was just a single wide on a half an acre. Like
Wow.
I hadn't even done that on a single family yet.
So
Um,
six figures on a mobile home.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And before that, I did a $68,000 hotel on a mobile home and land. And then like I have another one that's coming up that's probably going to be about $115,000 flip mobile home on land. And
Mm-hmm.
then along that, I have more mobile home flips as well. And then I've got, I'm wholesaling them too. So I spend like $1,500 or I bought one for 1,500, sold it for 21,000 like 2 days later. Like it's
Wow.
just so easy to make money in mobile homes compared to single family. And I don't have to wait as long to get the closings done. Like you can buy one and sell one in 24 hours. And you can't do that it's hard to do that with a house. And so with the rates and everything, like, and I started creating like networking with note buyers and all of that. So my houses come with owner financing terms as well. So it's making it where most of my houses, I try to keep them under $250,000. So they range about 150 to 250,000 if they're my flips. But I also wholesale mobile homes as well with land.
Mm.
So those are going to be like under 120,000. Like I have one for 74,000 right now on the market. But
What determines the big range in price with a mobile home? Is I'm sure land is a big part of it, right? If the land comes with it. And then is there like a large range of quality of finishes and those sorts of things?
yeah, so when I go in to flip a mobile home, I take all that paneling down that makes it look like a mobile home on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that looks cheap, I just take it out. And we tape texture, paint the walls, we put in new lighting, we put in new flooring. it looks like a house when you walk in. It doesn't look like a mobile home anymore. I've had neighborhoods where I'm flipping mobile homes and land that mobile homes are older, but there's somebody who's coming into the same neighborhood and they're putting new mobile homes on it, but they're putting cheap new mobile homes. So they look like RVs on the inside.
Right.
And those are staying on the market, but mine are getting offers like first day. So it's the way that I finish it out. My hotels will last a little bit longer because they do look like mobile homes. um, but that's okay because I don't put any time, I don't put any money into it. I just buy it and just relist it. So I put $300 into one of them, so to clean it up, but that's not much at all. Like the rehab time is the same time of it sitting on the market for me to get that same price. So
Right.
yeah,
You're
it's
just
a
making
finish
them
out.
look like regular houses, even though they're mobile. There's wheels someplace likely, or they roll them in and then put them on a foundation,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
then you just make them look like a regular house so that they can afford it. They couldn't buy a house like that if it was, in the neighborhood across the street, because those are different kinds of neighborhoods. But here they can't.
Yeah. Yeah. And like 2,100 square feet, an acre and a half, big home, 4 bedroom, 2 baths. Like you're not going to find that for 250,000, but I have it listed for 259, like
Right.
because it's a mobile home, but it looks like a house on the inside. So yeah.
That's pretty cool. So it is pretty nichey, right? There's not a lot of people doing it. Is it, is there a lot of JV opportunities for people too? Like, what if they wanted to get involved and help you? Like, can you guys work together somehow where they can find leads or they can help dispo things that you find?
Oh, definitely. I have like 30 land leads right now that we're dispoing, and then
Hmm.
like I own 8 mobile home and land deals that they're also helping dispo right now, and then we also have more mobile homes that are just being wholesaled. So we definitely have plenty for people to help dispo, and I have more than that. It's just I have to get more dispo people to handle all the stuff that I have. But so yes, I'm completely good with dispoing, but I also take in more leads. So as I'm building my dispo team, I'm having other wholesalers coming to me and telling me, "Hey, you do mobile homes and land. Can you help me?" And yes, I can, because I don't mind buying it. Like I've got enough private money to take down the ones I want to take down. So it's like, if you need a close, I can close in 4 hours. As long as title's clear, I got you. Um, and so if they've got a lead, that's a really good deal. And even single family, I will buy it within 24 hours as long as title's clear. On a good single family lead as well, too. So wholesalers who can't move their deals, I got you. And then
Yeah.
also if they want to help me do dispo or learn, yes, there's a lot of opportunity with mobile homes.
So I've heard that mobile homes are different because they're considered personal property and not real estate. So can you help clear that up for everybody? Like, what's the difference and what makes it personal property versus real estate?
Mhm. It has to be retrofitted to land for it to be real estate. So then a mobile home does convert to real estate. If it's not retrofitted to the land, it's considered personal property, just like an RV or a car. So it has a title, and that's why you can close these really quickly.
So what does retrofitted mean? Does that mean put on a foundation?
Yes, and it doesn't really have to be a foundation. Sometimes it's just like strips of concrete underneath that they put the blocks on, and then they tie it down. So they have like this metal strap. It's like they bolt it into the ground and then they
Mm,
just ratchet it in there, and yeah, so it's tied down to the ground.
okay, so that's an industry term, retrofitting it.
Mhm.
So for me, it's a little bit of extra cost there, but you probably got your people to who can do that pretty inexpensively.
Mhm.
And then once it's retrofitted, does someone have to go there and certify it so that they can go to title and say, yeah, this is now real estate and not personal property?
Well, the FHA, so what's great is once it's retrofitted and as long as it's over 1976, it can qualify for FHA financing, which most people don't think
Mm,
mobile homes can, but they can. Those are the ones that I flip, are the ones that can qualify for FHA financing.
mm,
So they usually send somebody out to check it to make sure it is retrofitted.
Like through the appraisal process?
During the FHA. Yeah.
So it's part of the appraisal.
hmm
Okay.
I don't know if it's part of the appraisal or the inspection for FHA, but I've never had to give them a certificate or anything. They've always sent somebody out there to confirm it, and they're like, yeah, it's retrofitted.
Right.
Mhm.
Does that differ on a per state or city basis, or is that nationwide the same process?
It state to state is different with mobile homes. Like
Hmm.
even in Texas, you after you wholesale, like if it's personal property, you can sell one, and then you need to get your license, like a retailer's license. Like I just got my retailer's license because most of my mobile homes were property. There was a property attached. But I mean, really, when it comes down to it, there's a lot of people who do more than just one before they get their license because they want to make sure they like it. But I would recommend, look into getting your retailer's license or salesperson's license. If you get a salesperson's license, you need to do it under a retailer. That's why I got my retailer's license so that I can start getting my dispo people under salespeople license. So, yeah. Now,
Is that kind of like broker real estate agent relationship? Is it the same thing or different?
it's really similar. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
But the
there's not only
licensing
is I'm
requirements are
sorry.
different. You don't need as many credits likely to do this process as you would if you went to be a real estate agent.
Uh, it's 12 hours to become a retailer. I think it is a little bit more to become an agent because I'm an agent also. So,
Yeah. It's if it's anything like Colorado, it's a lot more. In Colorado, it's like almost 130 credits to become a
mm,
licensed real estate agent.
yeah, I can't remember how many I had to take here in Texas. It was a few years ago, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was easier to get this one. It was cheaper too. It was like $550 for the application, 153 for the classes, and I had to do my fingerprinting and all that. But
Is there
that's
CE credits and ongoing like insurance requirements and stuff like that, like being a real estate agent?
Yeah, you have to get a surety bond. So I had to get a surety bond for
Hmm.
$50,000. And some people think you have to go through an insurance company to do that. Which I had my assistant trying to look for me, and she was having a hard time finding the surety. She was going after surety insurance, and they were
Mm.
having all like me jump through all these hoops, and I was like, there's something wrong with this. So I just started looking it up, and it's just a surety bond, and there's plenty of companies. You just Google surety bond for retailer from manufactured housing, and you'll find plenty of people willing to do that. It's like a $1,500 to $2,000 fee to get that $50,000 surety bond, but you have to do it like every year for the surety bond, and then for the licensing, it's every 2 years. You have to renew it.
Hmm. So that's where the balancing act is. Like, if you're going to get into this business, you want to be able to get that $1,500 to $2,000 back that you spent on the bond. But if you're not doing enough volume, then it's just not worth it.
Yeah, I tell everybody at least do one deal and then use
Hmm.
that money to pay for the retailer's or salesperson's license and the bond. So just put money back in your business to keep it
Yeah.
going. Yeah.
There's it seems, and this isn't overly complicated, but there's a lot of moving parts in this, which is different than what most people see. Is this one of the things that you teach?
Yes.
Okay. So you have a course, you teach people all the moving parts, what to put in place, the order of things and best practices. How do your students like it?
Oh, they like it. I even had one of my students' husbands who were just listening. He wasn't even part of the class. And like he went ahead and went out there and he made $19,000 like in a matter of 2 days, just following just a portion of what I was teaching. And
Wow.
he's like really on it now. He's got like 4 or 5 mobile homes and getting it going. And then so I do one-on-ones a lot. My one-on-ones aren't all just mobile home because I have experience in multifamily, single family, all that. And I'm more of like a lifestyle entrepreneur. So I'm all about freedom, but also living well. And so I actually take people's idea of what their ideal life looks like, what the day to day to look like, and what are they really good at? Give me your strengths and your weaknesses, and what's your past experience. So with that, I'll help them come up with a business plan for a real estate business that would fit them. So I have some that are doing owner finance and single family. I have some of them that are dealing with lazy investors. I have some of them that are there's so many affordable housing, not so many, but there's enough for them to have differences between them all. And I like it because I can use all of my knowledge by teaching them all. So they're not just mobile home, but my group coaching is mobile home and land. So,
Mm,
because that needs to be more cookie cutter. But yeah, they like it. I mean, they're all doing it. They're
that's
making money.
awesome.
Mhm.
And you put mobile homes and land in the same bucket. In my mind, those sound like they're two entirely different things, but there must be some similarities to be able to bucket them like that in one place.
Well, the reason why I called it mobile homes and land, like I actually had my mentor, he was like, you need to just pick one. And I didn't. I haven't yet. I just need to take one of them off. But I was saying that because at the time I didn't have my retailer's license and I was doing mobile homes with land. So it was like property, real estate. Um, so I didn't want to get myself in trouble. That's why I was putting that out there. But
Mm,
I do have land. Like I've got like a little over 30 pieces of land right now, properties. That's just land, owner finance that's available. And then I also have mobile homes. And well, they go together because you got to put the mobile home somewhere.
right. They totally do.
Hmm.
I saw one of your posts. It was there's a picture of like a highway, and then it was like if you have land that's near a highway,
Hmm.
bring them to me. So what's the angle there? Where that land seems to me like it's completely useless, and you're just gonna have trash on it, and it's gonna be, overgrown. Like, where is the value in that kind of an opportunity?
Okay, so that is different than mobile homes and land. That is building an industrial park. So I have
Mm,
one of my students, when he was selling a piece of land, I tell my students to sell the idea, not the property or the contract, sell the idea of what this can be. And so he sold a piece of property, made $800,000 assignment fee, and sold the idea of an industrial park. Well, he used to be a commercial contractor and a commercial realtor and appraiser, so he knew some of commercial construction. So they asked him if he could build the industrial park. So he built it, and in a matter of like 5 6 months, like an unreal amount of time that he went from the start to finish. And they did like put 5 million into it, and he's getting like I think 20 or 30% out of what they're going to get, but they already have an LOI for 15 million, so a $10 million profit increase over a 6 month period of time. So he came to me and he was like, Mitzi, you need to get into this, check this out, you need to stop everything you're doing and just check this stuff out, and I can build everything for you if you want. So I had somebody else come to me that had some mobile homes on land, and well, I did buy that too. But he showed me his 8 acres off of I-35 in New Braunfels and was like, how about this? So I brought my student out there and we were going to go ahead and build the industrial park on that one. So I use that as, hey, bring me your land on this, because I have all the moving parts working. So all I have to do is kind of refer it out and I get my money out of it, but I don't have to put a lot of work into it. I just have to find the land and I already have the person do all the everything else for me. And so yeah, that's just a side thing that I do.
just a side thing that could result in $10 million in value increase in 6 months. Um,
Yeah, well, my portion is only 1 million, but like,
mm,
yeah, that's still it's pretty nice.
it is. Um, when you say industrial park, I'm just like picturing like rows of buildings that are side by side, and people can go in there, the tenants, and they can just turn them into whatever they need. Maybe some of them have garages, maybe some of them don't. Is that kind of what we're talking about here?
So I actually have some pictures I can send you, but it's just like a big huge like 5,000 square foot building is the what he's doing on one of them. He showed it to me, but it would depend on what we found to be the best use for this other one. Now, that one, by the way, did fall through. We did not do the 8 acres. I want to get clear
Mm,
on that, but I was going to make 1 million if we did. So now I'm looking for something else. But it's 5,000 square foot and it's got 2 garage doors on it, but it could be split up. So it's like 2 units. And he makes it really simple where he puts the plumbing in, but he doesn't finish out the bathroom, where if they want to put a bathroom there, they can, or they can just cap it off.
Yeah.
And so he makes it really simple. And I think, I don't know. He knows more than me on the industrial parks, but it seems like he's renting it out a little too cheap, but they're still doing very well with what they're renting it out for. They're doing $1 a square foot. So those 5,000 square foot ones, they're renting both sides out for 2,500 a piece. And so
Wow.
it's, and yeah, that though is his deal. That I'm not in that one. He just showed it to me
Sure.
to know how to do the next one.
It seems to me something like that would mean like you want to do like a viability study, like look at the area, see if there's anything like that around. Are they
Mhm.
rented, or is there like big vacant signs everywhere? Like you'd really do some research to see if it was going to make some money, if there's a demand for it. I
Mhm.
know a lot of people are doing like self storage, like they'll go in and they'd look to see if there's any other self storage. Uh, I don't know what you call them, um, not just units, but these parks, right, where the self storages are located. And
Mhm.
if they're not, then they'll build them, or they'll take
Mhm.
really old ones and refurbish them. So that's interesting. Like a lot of the stuff you're doing, like nobody else is doing. And that's there's an education angle there too, right? Where people are going to some of like these traditional coaching programs where they're learning wholesaling or creative deal structure, and there's just so much competition there. And I believe that on your side of the fence there's not as much competition for the people that really dig in and execute.
Exactly. I picked the blue oceans. I've always been a little bit of a person to beat my own, like just to go the opposite way than everybody else.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why I picked mobile homes. That's why I'm looking at industrial parks. I'm interested in that. And really, where everybody else is going, like you have to fight everybody for leads. You have to fight for the deals. You make less money sometimes because of that. And well, when I was doing single family and still when I do it, I still do it in a way that not everybody else is doing it, so I don't have to fight people for it. But I like the creative ways of not I yeah. Industrial parks too, by the way, there's not enough of them. There
Yeah.
and the demand is only going to go higher. So if you just look at, and I think it's my financial advice, my financial experience that helps me see things ahead of time. But everybody's mail ordering. We're we need more industrial parks to store this stuff at in between
Yeah.
places. Even groceries are being mail ordered. We need more refrigerated store industrial parks. Like there's just not enough. And this buyer that put that $15 million LOI on it said, I need more. How many more can you build me? And they offered my student a $2 million a year salary to just build industrial parks for them. He turned it down because he says he makes way too much money the way he's doing it. So
Wow.
he turned down a $2 million a year job. But he knows now the buyer and he knows that they'll buy almost everything that he builds. So, and he knows a few of them. So it's like really great.
That's really interesting. Yeah, there's I live in Denver, outside of Denver, and there's like this major road that goes between like these two cities. It's I-76, and they're just building industrial parks, just like one after the other. I'm just like, what are they going to put in there? And next thing you know, it's like it's rented out. It's rented out, and they're
Mhm.
building another one. And some of these things are so huge, like they're not even on the highway, but you can see them in the distance, and you just see like the length of these buildings. They're enormous. They're like football fields after football field of buildings, and they're filling them.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
It's pretty amazing. Um, so I buy stuff on Amazon from time to time, and they're like next day delivery. I'm like, how are they getting me all this stuff so quickly? Like
Mhm.
it's crazy how fast they do, but it must be because Amazon is just building these hubs all around the country where they're just putting this inventory, and
Exactly.
that's how they can drop it off the next day.
Yeah. And I was thinking about how if we had more refrigerated industrial parks too, the food could be fresher than it is
Yeah.
now. Having to go to the grocery store and then wait for you to buy it. Like if it's being shipped directly from the farmer to maybe one industrial park that's close to you and then to you, or even as directly as to you as possible, but our food could be even fresher
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
So you're thinking outside the box on a lot of different things. Is there anything that's maybe still maybe nichey or maybe not even viable yet that you're seeing that's coming down the pipe? Something new that maybe people can keep their eye out for,
Real estate wise?
real estate wise, or just in the space, right? Because mobile homes, there's the personal property side of things that you turn into real estate. But yeah, real estate in general, like what do you see maybe coming down the pipe that's something that you would be interested in because you like to go where others aren't?
Yeah, I think nicer like mobile home and RV parks that people don't feel like they're living in a trailer park would
Okay.
be nice, because these affordable housing, people don't want to feel like they're living in a trailer park. Um, and like even putting like a pond in there or something, I like creating something around that. But I also am adding something else, but it's for real estate entrepreneurs, but it's more wellness retreats for exhausted 7-figure real estate entrepreneurs.
Mm,
A lot of us get sick and then we slow down.
right.
I don't know if you heard like what happened to Jamil recently,
Oh yeah.
but we're constantly going and we don't take a break in self-care, and we don't know how sometimes. And a lot of entrepreneurs, I think, are just wounded individuals that just focus on entrepreneurship than like, something unhealthy. And so like, I think there's a lot of uh emotional processing that needs to happen too. And then not just that, but I can help with that. But I'm also got this Ayurvedic stuff. I do body work, I do meditations, I know all this information. I'm like, these people could really use what I have
Oh
like on
yeah.
that side of things too. So I'm starting to put together 7-figure real estate entrepreneur retreats to help them rejuvenate and self-care and hopefully not get sick first.
That's really cool. Yeah, and as you're talking about that, I was thinking real estate, but it's a lot of entrepreneurs, or a lot
Mhm.
of just hustlers who are grinding, and then they're the last thing on the list of self-care and making sure they get enough sleep and they're eating right and their families are taken care of because they're grinding. And
Yeah.
I would, yeah, I believe that would be very successful. Do you see this being like one location, or do you see it like changing? Like one time it's at a Airbnb that you rent in Aspen, and the next time it's at it's in the Gulf. It's on the Gulf of Mexico, and you got like a beach resort. Like, how do you see it being played out?
So the first one's going to be in Cancun. And then the second one, I want to be in Costa Rica. I really love Costa Rica. I actually got certified as a retreat leader. I don't know
Okay.
what that means, but I got it. Um, and because I went to this retreat leader mastermind to learn how to hold retreats. And so this has always been something I was interested in. And I did that in Costa Rica, and I fell in love with Costa Rica. So I've been there like 3 times, and not that many, but 3 times. And so I want to do that, like even go to Guatemala. Been to Guatemala too, and I really loved it. So I want to take people into different areas, and I actually want to keep it intimate. So I'm only going to have like 10 maybe people able to come to each retreat, because I want it to be that intimate space where we can also mastermind, because you're going to have some amazing people in that
Oh
room,
yeah.
and they can help each other out. But it's not going to be just about business. It's going to be about self-care and like the things that you're having problems with, and like helping each other out with that. But I'm also going to be showing some things about how emotions are engaged, and how there's just going to be some really cool stuff that people have never seen before that I've shared in my Get Your Shit Together class. I don't know if you knew I have a Get Your Shit Together class, but
No, I didn't
um
know that.
yeah, everybody has had some kind of healing in that class. I had people get closer to God. Like the first class, they were like, "Oh my gosh, everybody needs to know this stuff. Like this is like powerful stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah." So I'm going to be showing them that, and it's pretty much how emotions are just engaged to your state of consciousness in the moment. I'm not sure if that makes a lot of sense right now, but you in certain emotions, you'll know if you're actually in a place of truth or in a place of hustle. So like there's certain emotions, anger, desire, and pride will leave you in a place of hyperactivity. And this is where a lot of hustlers are, a lot of entrepreneurs are. And when I explain this, they're like, "Oh my gosh, this makes so much sense." But you know how you can, it's like a pendulum swing during that time. It's hyperactivity. So you're going from like broke to making money, but then you go broke again, then you make money, then you go broke again. It's like just this like hamster wheel of like problems, it seems like. And you're like, oh, this is just entrepreneurship. No, it's not. It's where you are emotionally and where you've stayed, thinking this is the way it is, because that's just your beliefs. So you're going to just see that. So I talk about the reticular activating system, how that works. It's not about woo woo, it's about science behind it. And understanding that. And then I have Darlene Root, which is also in our group, the Family Mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
She is also a coach on this stuff too. And she's got 46 years experience in real estate. So we're going to be doing the retreat together, and she's going to be talking about rewiring. So we're going to be talking about how to rewire programming, like where you've been self-sabotaging yourself. And so that when you leave, and it actually does it right away. So it's not like you have to work on something after you leave the retreat. You're going to actually have something that permanently gets fixed in the retreat and rejuvenate. You're going to rejuvenate. You're going to feel great. And you're going to come back with like a whole new view of your business. And most people, it's like when you actually take a break and you take a step back away from your business and you're not stuck in the middle of it, you can actually review it for what it is. And being out of the country or being in a different location really helps with that too. And it's like, okay, let's talk, let's get this, let's fix this, where you're self-sabotaging, because we all self-sabotage one way or another. So it's like, let's pick something, let's show you how you can get this done. And then you can take that work that you learn and work on other areas that you notice that you're self-sabotaging or whatever, and help yourself. So you're going to be bringing back tools that are really beneficial and getting healthier, like automatically. Like my Get Your Shit Together class, they were losing weight, they were working, they were sleeping through the night. One got over her food allergies, like all kinds of stuff. Like these were side effects to the work.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that people can do in their normal lives right now that will help them accomplish some of these things that they might get from like a retreat, but maybe they don't have the resources to, participate in something like that? What kind of advice would you give somebody right now who is maybe struggling with maybe some mental situations, or they're stressed out, or, they're not doing the self-care? What's a tool that you can give them that they can use right now?
There's so many, but I'll use one, journaling. So write down your top 7 problems in your life right now. Then write down the beliefs you have that are supporting them.
Okay.
So you only have them because they're being supported. And then how can you change that perspective to be more positive? And how can you change that belief? Everything, whatever you're desiring right now, you get a problem or a lesson that you need to overcome to develop the skill to get that blessing. So what you want right now and the exact problem you have at the same time, you're seeing a preview of what you get if you solve that problem. I'm not sure if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. If you like, whenever, anytime somebody says, oh, I prayed to God for patience and I got all these people that were taught me patience. Yes, because you only get it when you learn that level. You have to up level, because like Joe Dispenza says, your personality creates your personal reality. If you're like, I just need to be accepted as I am, you're going to keep getting what you got. You have to change your personality in one way to get something different. You have to build a skill. You have to learn to be more emotionally stable, like more emotionally intelligent, whatever. And as business entrepreneurs, we really have to be emotionally intelligent if we want to be successful. And
Absolutely.
so it's very important to understand our emotions. Some people are like, oh, forget the emotions. Don't forget your emotions, because that is where everything is coming from. Even if you're like, oh, I don't feel my emotions, well, you have them stored down, you're still acting off of them, because we are emotional creatures. We can back everything up by logic, but we act off emotion.
It's absolutely true. So journaling, anybody that's out there that's having some struggles in their business or in life, or, a lot of times those things get crossed over. It's hard to separate them, but try journaling, and hopefully that helps.
An example of that too, just in case, because maybe it wasn't very clear, is if your problem is you don't have much money and you have a belief that you have to work hard for your money, then how can you change that belief? Well, janitors work hard for their money. Teachers work hard, police officers work hard, but do they have a lot of money? So that's not a
Right.
true belief. Now we can discount that belief. It's not true.
Right.
So like now, oh, I have to work out to lose weight. No, you don't. How many people have you seen that work out that still are overweight? That's not
Yep.
true. So it's like now you can discount that belief, and that's like, well, then what is true? Well, what do you want to believe? You make
Right.
it true. The
Yeah.
reticular
And you can,
activating. Hmm?
and a lot of people are successful with things that aren't true as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
I'm the best. I'm the best at whatever. And they strive and they succeed. So like you can create whatever truth you want. You can get any truth that doesn't support your goals, and you can create new truths that do.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like, how is that belief working for you?
Right. Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I certainly didn't think we were going to get in this deep into your background and what your skill set was, but I'm glad that we did, because it's way more interesting than what I was planning. So I appreciate you kind of expanding on that. And hippie Mitzi came out a little bit toward the end, which
Yeah.
I love hippie Mitzi. And I'm so happy that you spent some time with us and shared your experiences. And I believe that you're probably inspiring a bunch of people to think outside the box and do some different things in their business, and hopefully making people start to look at themselves a little bit too, about like, are we taking care of ourselves? Are we really going down the paths that we want? Are we happy? Do we have the things we want? And our time today with you, I think, will help with that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you guys, where can we find you, Mitzi? Where can people go to learn more about what you're up to? Maybe do some business with you. Where are you at?
Okay, you can check out Facebook, Mitsy Diane, Mitzy Diane. I also have a link tree, Mitsy Diane, and Instagram, Mitsy Diane, Mitzy Diane. And I also have a website, but we haven't fully finished it yet. But you can go on there and you can read some stuff.
Awesome. Well, you guys reach out to Mitzi if you've got any land deals, you got some mobile home stuff, you're not really quite sure what to do with that. Mitzi can certainly put you down the right path, but also maybe JV with you guys so you can put more deals together. So, Mitzi, thanks again. Have a great weekend. And we'll
Yeah,
talk to you
thank you,
soon.
Benson. Thank you for
Bye.
having me.
Oh, my pleasure. It's good talking to you.
Thanks.